to Lizzie.
Hmm.
And it's just a really lovely moment, and I'm really glad that she and Herschel get this time. She tells him to go and rest now that everyone's back. She looks after Glenn. Yeah, I just feel like Maggie's quietly coming into her own a lot at this
Hmm.
point in the show,
She's in a
and I'm
transitional
appreciating.
period. Like,
Yeah.
I love that moment you just pointed out because I love how we slip into different roles with different people. And she's being a
Hmm.
little girl with her dad, kind of, and then being, yeah, more of a nurturing mom
A
figure to
mom.
Lizzie just on a turn of a dime there. That's cool.
Yeah, it's that in between stage.
Hmm.
And yeah, I just loved it. I just thought it was a really cute moment for both of them. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'm
Very
just sad
good.
that Herschel's
And
going.
they got
Herschel's
along
going.
really well too, those two
Oh,
actors.
you can just, there's so much love there between the
Yeah.
two of them. Like, just so much love. And the way he's protecting Glenn above all the other patients because he knows what he means to Maggie and what he means to him, what he means to Herschel. It's just really lovely. It's a lot of love there.
Hmm. Yep. In
Hmm.
story and on a meta level,
Exactly.
real life. Well, let's see. I have a mini sort of mini point too. I keep thinking about how the sort of culmination of season 3 was Rick deciding to bring all the Woodburyans in. And then I
Yeah.
think it's a little dark that the writers took advantage of having all these randoms around to do this
Yeah.
story.
Red
It's,
shirts, right?
yeah, it's a really good story and I don't blame them at all. But, the triumph of last season is used for fodder kind of.
I know. I mean, we don't. No one really survives for. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
not
right.
great.
But no one we really cared about died. It was
Yeah,
only the Woodburyans. I mean, the only time anyone we cared about died is if we liked them in their first episode that was also their last, like Patrick and
yeah.
Beth's
I mean,
boyfriend, you know.
that's basically what Herschel said as well. He's like, look, no one we cared about died.
It's basically what he was saying.
They just cut the
Uh,
scene because it was felt to be a bit rude.
right. He's like, don't worry, guys. It's all fine. But I was trying to figure out how many died, and the Walking Dead wiki says 31, which is a lot, right? With 14 dying of the sickness and
Yeah.
17 related deaths. Died of the sickness. Patrick, well, I won't name all these guys because we don't even probably know. Charlie, Mr. Jacobson, Dr. S. But then the related deaths, like Greg, the guy who was killed by zombie Patrick and his guts were hanging out, Lizzie and Mika's dad, who was bitten by, I think, one of the zombies that Patrick
Hmm.
turned. Um, there were a bunch that were killed that way. Karen and David killed by you know who.
Yeah.
Norris is the guy in this episode that was killed by a zombie son that he just had said was asleep. And then I didn't even catch this, but there's a woman that he accidentally shot.
That, I'm sorry, that made me laugh and it shouldn't have. I was like, what the fuck?
Right. It's
He
horrible.
fell over and shot a woman who was
Imagine
like,
if that was like Beth or so. Well, Beth almost did die that way, actually, eventually.
it really made me laugh because
Ugh.
like she didn't seem that ill and she'd come out to help Herschel and I was like, well, there's another survivor that we've just shot. So well done, sir. Well done for that. Yeah, I shouldn't have made me laugh as much as it did, but when I realized what was happening, I was like, all right.
Yeah. If it was, Rick, then it wouldn't have been as funny.
No, it would have been like, this is a tragedy. But
Oh
I'm
my
like, oh,
God.
what a way
Why
to
did you
go. I
write
got
that?
accidentally shot. Like, oh
Yeah.
dear.
All right. What else?
What else have I got? Oh, so much stuff this episode. Daryl says that Glenn is a tough son bitch and you're a tough son
Yeah.
bitch to
Love that.
Herschel, which is iconic. He is asking about Carol, and I think that we're going to see Rick tell him about that the next time that we have an episode at the
Mm,
prison. But I
okay.
also love that Rick is evading telling Daryl because he knows it's not going to go down
I
well.
got a farm and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna go farm over here. I actually have a kind of point about that coda to the episode of the next day where we see like the peace, the sunlight, and the plants. Michonne's moving the bodies, Rick splashing his face, asking if she needs help. Glenn's doing well, he's breathing on his own now, he's stable. Michonne and Herschel kind of optimistically agree to head out together, and Rick and Carl eat some beans or peas from the
Is it
farmland,
sorghum,
and
maybe? I don't
I have no
know.
idea. And it's peace in the valley, and then we see the governor, which
Mm-mm-mm.
I'd
It's
forgotten about.
Terminator music.
looking a bit like a Terminator as well. So it's a nice setup for the next act, I think. But
Hmm.
yeah, that was a point I had actually was just
Hmm.
the end of the episode. Oh, just when you think it was safe and it's
Yeah,
not.
it's kind of weird, honestly. I'm very much approaching these next two episodes with an open mind, and also remembering that I remember liking them more than most people, but I want to even try to set that aside. Just be like, all right, let me just see what it's like watching these. I am
Yeah.
glad we're having two guests on that both seem to appreciate these episodes. But anyway, with all that, we're trying to be open minded, trying to find what can be appreciated about them. I do think it's weird that they wait. I'm glad they waited this long to bring the governor in. So you sort of spend the first few episodes wondering, well, what happened to him? He didn't die. Is he out there? Is he like, when's he coming back? But then they do two episodes of his backstory and then kill him off. And he's gone from the story after that. It's like,
I like I'm sure we'll get into this more, but I always felt this was a really weird decision on the show's part. I was like, why did we drag this storyline into this season? I think it's
yeah.
fine ultimately because it catalyzes the chaos that gets them out of the prison into Terminus. But I
Hmm.
remember being like, why didn't we just kill him at the end of season three? Like,
Yeah.
much as I love David Morrissey and I think he does a good job, I'm just like, this seems unnecessary.
Maybe if they'd only just done one episode of backstory, because yeah, you need
Yeah,
to sort of not just if he just came back and attacked again, then well, you wouldn't know where he got the people, but also it would seem even more like a repeat of when he attacked before than it already does. But
yeah.
so you need to know how he built up to that. But yeah, maybe they didn't need to take two episodes for it. I don't know. We'll see, because I don't really
Yeah.
remember that much about what happens.
Maybe we'll love them. Maybe we'll be
Yeah,
like, oh
we
my
might.
God,
I don't know
this
about
was
that, but
amazing.
we might like them. And the only other note I had is there's a Henry. Glenn says he'll be dead in a
Yes.
couple of hours, and he's dead. So that's Henry number one in The Walking
Uh,
Dead.
the first Henry. How creepy is it when Lizzie's like, come on, Henry, goodbye. Like,
Oh, that was Henry. I forgot. Yeah,
Yeah,
Henry
that's
the
so
zombie.
gross. I thought Dr. S was an amazing zombie. All
Yeah.
shout, all props to Caleb. That was amazing. I loved that Herschel told Rick, life is always a test. And the
Hmm.
musical cue is Oats in the Water by Ben Howard, which I
Hmm.
really associate with this season and this episode in particular.
Hmm.
Still got a good money shot of the Hyundai pulling up to the prison, so someone's still doing some product
That was
placement
a
there.
very heroic shot. Yeah, and the
And it was
music,
very clean.
it's yeah, it's always got to be clean. That's
Always
part of
clean.
the rules.
Yeah.
Um, the music, yeah, it's really getting into this period of The Walking Dead where they use modern music a lot more, and I think Gimple
Hmm.
must like that. But it adds to the feel somehow of um what I'm trying to say, that Walking Dead became this big cultural thing, one of the most popular shows ever on TV, coming into its peak. And somehow I think the music is almost like, yeah, we know we're a thing. I don't know why
Yeah.
I feel like those two things are related, the popularity of it and the music, but it does seem like that to me. Like it knows that it's popular or something. I don't know. Is that
Yeah.
weird?
No, I know what you mean. It's like, yeah, we're making a statement. We're doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yes. Ben Howard also feels like very of that era as well, like
Mm,
2013, 2012,
mm.
2013. I'm like, this episode was written by Channing Powell and directed by David Boyd.
I wonder if they would have gotten a Taylor Swift in there if it
They've
was
had
a
to
little
blow a
bit
lot of
later.
the budget.
That's true, yeah. And they tend to like to go things that aren't like too popular, you know? They like
They
music that they
always
can
went for kind of a bluesy
cool
country sort
stuff.
of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Folksy sometimes.
Yeah, Tom Waits definitely made some money off The Walking Dead, I bet. I have IMDb dive is very short
Mm.
this episode. The antibiotic Bob was giving to members of the group that were sick is enrofloxacin, which is a broad spectrum antibiotic used in veterinary medicine. It is very similar to the broad spectrum antibiotic ciprofloxacin, commonly known as Cipro, which is used for humans.
Mm.
And as I mentioned, we're on day 524. We're going to be here for a while. End of timeline.
Only on The Walking Dead would you need to be more worried about being around a contagiously sick person after they died.
As I said, only on The Walking Dead would you bond with your dad while mowing down a whole heap of zombies and have it be a very heartwarming moment.
If zombies were real, I'd totally be taking Nico out to the zombie range.
Yep, yep.
All right, back. It's time for some listener moans, groans, and grunts.
Carly Jackson says, I am not looking forward to the emotional weight this episode has. For the first time, I'm not excited to watch an episode. Oh, Carly, I hope we cheered it up for you in
Yeah,
an
I
appropriate
saw
way.
that and I almost replied, "Well, you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, just listen
It's
to us
okay."
talk
Yeah.
about it flippantly.
Right. Beth Pieri says the makeup and acting on Maggie and Glenn was great. They rarely get to do interesting makeup for living people. That's a good point. It was really
Mm.
emotional seeing how Rick kept looking at Carl, realizing he isn't a kid anymore. Yeah, the
Yeah.
difference in this show is people come in and probably take off their makeup.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Becky Anderson says the Rick and Carl scenes were nice. Herschel scenes were amazing and tugged at my heartstrings. Amazing acting by Scott Wilson. Excellent work by the makeup artists on both the living and the dead. I watched this episode while at the endodontist having a root canal done. Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
Not sure what was more uncomfortable, the root canal or seeing the governor again. Oh,
I
Becky.
wonder if the dentist was looking over, like, what are you watching?
Hearing all the noises, like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Coughing up blood. The people in the stall next door, everything okay over there?
Yeah, like you fine? All good? People who are scared of the dentist in the
Yeah.
waiting room, like, oh my God, what's gonna
I'm
happen?
sure she had earbuds.
Yeah.
Megan Dively Lehman says, I don't know why I find this so fascinating, but this episode had 3 times more live viewers than the series finale did. It's wild to think how much the TV industry and TV watching habits changed in the decade or so span of this show. Great episode with horror and dread vibes, and still crazy to think only a few of these people made it to the finale.
I
The
know.
Alexandria years really saw a massive cast to change over. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
the Walking Dead lost so many viewers. I think it peaked probably season 7, episode 1, and went downhill from there, I think.
Yeah. It was, oh man, what a time. What a time. Dina says we all got jobs to do, even Lizzie. So it's a damn good thing she didn't take inspiration from Tom Sawyer, who famously did not do his job, or Glenn would be dead.
That's hilarious.
In all seriousness, I've seen the plague episode well over a dozen times, and I still hold my breath in dread that Glenn is going to die. The scenes are played so well that it seems entirely possible that the outcome could change on the 12th watch. And no, I did not shed a tear when Herschel sobbed. I did not.
Dina, next time you watch it, if Glenn dies, let us know how that
Yeah,
is
let
for
us
you.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
curious what that's like. Thanks for writing in. As always, here is Claire.
Hi, Jason, Lucy, and friends. It's
Claire.
Claire. Calling with feedback for Walking Dead rewatch, which I am loving so much. Loving the rewatch, loving hearing you guys podcast. You guys are so funny. I hope you know that.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
which is so great. I just love tuning in and listening to what you have to say about The Walking Dead and life. And you guys are just amazing. And thank you. Thank you for being there every week so consistently.
Thanks,
Oh,
Claire.
So
Claire.
I love this episode, Internment. I think Herschel is just such a star, and I love seeing Rick and Carl work together. Um, wow, they just the dynamic they have, and uh, I love just Rick looking at Carl like he's a man, and um, it's always trying to strike that balance on this show of to be violent or not be violent, and it kind of can be, give you a little whiplash a lot of the times. But this arc with Rick and Carl, and Rick wanting to protect Carl, is just, I think it's special.
Mm.
I remember watching this episode. So my brother is blind, and
Oh.
we watched The Walking Dead together, and I used to call him over the phone, and like we'd watch it. We'd have to like start it right at the same time on our DVRs, and then we'd watch it together, and I'd tell him what was happening. Well, this time I was at his house describing the episode, and I remember it was so intense the first time I watched this episode, and I could not even sit down. Like I was I've
Wow.
never had this
So interesting.
experience watching a TV show, not even on The Walking Dead, maybe a couple other times, but this time I just remember like watching Herschel and watching Rick and Carl. It's just like so um, intense, and I love this episode. So anyway, um, I will let you go. I won't talk all day, but I just want to tell you guys I appreciate you, and we all love you so much. So God bless. Don't get bit. Bye.
Thank you,
Appreciate you
Claire.
too, Claire.
That is such an interesting. I never even considered what it would be like to watch a show as a blind person and have someone there describing it, and then to think of what that job would be like with this episode. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Glenn's just like mouth is full of blood, and it almost. I think it would be kind of
It's
fun, actually.
freaking
Yeah,
gross.
it's. I'm gonna
Like,
throw up.
yeah. Oh my Lord, it's so gross. Yeah, we do a little bit of this at work with like how to write good alt text to describe pictures and things like that. It's really interesting
Hmm.
to start thinking about how you describe things. One of the hardest things is sometimes I'm in meetings where you have to describe yourself and you have to be like, I'm a Caucasian woman of around this age, and I'm always like, oh, I just look like a children's TV presenter. Like, that's all you need to know. Yeah, it's weird.
That's funny. Matt King says that moment right at the end when the governor reappears that leads into episode 6, which is effectively the governor of the wilderness years.
Yep.
Good to see Rick and Carl getting to work together, firstly on the doomed fence poles, then on a Walker sleigh fest with a couple of machine guns, and then after the massacre, Rick and Carl going around finishing off any moving zombies like a World War I battlefield. The Grimes
Yeah.
family motto, those that slay together stay together. Great to see Scott Wilson at his best in the prison. Herschel's one of the very best characters in all 11 seasons. I cannot argue with that.
Yeah.
He worked miracles to keep Glenn alive. He was looking doomed there for a while.
Mm.
Yep.
I looked up pictures of young Scott Wilson because I remembered he was in the original in Cold Blood. He's so cute, but he looks
skinny, right? Kind of thin.
Yeah, it's funny because he looks like, I know it sounds really dumb, he looks exactly the same, but like young. And it's really sweet because he had this whole career
Same
before we
vibe.
knew him as Herschel. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just like, oh. Nathan Eshelman says, I took a page out of Jason's book and had a conversation with ChatGPT. I asked it, what was the significance of Herschel asking Lizzie to read Tom Sawyer? Because when a book is mentioned, it usually features themes relevant to the larger story of the show. Here was a section of the response. Tom Sawyer is a classic story about childhood freedom and the complexities of moral development. By having Lizzie read it, Herschel is not only trying to distract her from the harshness of the world around her, but also subtly guiding her toward understanding the importance of moral choices, a theme that becomes crucial later on with Lizzie's character. Lizzie, in the earlier part of the series, struggles with understanding the boundaries of right and wrong in the post-apocalyptic world, so Herschel's request can be seen as a last attempt to give her some foundation of the humanity and lessons of the pre-apocalypse world. At a more personal level, it also reflects Herschel's role as a caretaker, especially in the absence of other adult figures who might offer this kind of nurturing. This scene highlights his gentle, fatherly nature and his attempt to keep the group from fully succumbing to the brutal realities of their new world. It's a moment of hope in an otherwise grim episode, especially as Herschel's own fate looms larger.
What Herschel doesn't realize is Lizzie doesn't need help to live and to be distracted from the horribleness of the zombies because she thinks
she really
they're all
doesn't.
her pals.
She's going to be great.
She'll be just fine. Thank you, Nathan. I mean, ChatGPT continues to astound me. And I heard recently there was a podcast that was completely AI and it sounded
It's
alarmingly
creepy,
fine and made
Yeah.
me think that we better have fun with this while it lasts because we'll be out of jobs soon.
Honestly, it's so creepy.
Yeah. All right. Here is Sierra from Ontario. First time caller.
I knew a Sierra from Canada.
Hello, Lucy and Jason. This is Sierra calling from Ontario, Canada. I just figured it was about damn time I called into my favorite podcast. I found you guys in the fall last year, so it hasn't been very long, but I listen to you guys just about every day. You guys were my number one podcast on my Spotify Wrapped last year.
Amazing.
Nice.
But let's start from the beginning. So I started watching the show when it first aired, with my father, and I was about 9 years old. Yeah, 9
Oh
or
my
10, but
goodness.
I think 9. And boy, did I ever love this show, and I, obviously still do. That's why I'm calling you. But
Oh.
essentially, I tapped out, when Glenn died. Little
Yeah.
Sierra could just not handle that.
Oh, I don't blame you.
But then I spent years procrastinating, like, to continue watching the show because my parents kept watching and I, wanted to know what was happening, but also didn't want any spoilers. That was up until last fall. I decided my partner and I were looking for a new show. Him and I had both kind of stopped watching around the same time, conveniently enough, so we picked it back up together.
A lot of people stopped at that point, I think.
We finished it. We loved it. But, as we were watching, I was just super nerding out over the show and needed more content. So I found you guys and finished the show, finished the, episodes corresponding with them, with the show. And decided after all that I still needed more Walking Dead content. So I went to episode number 1 and I think I'm on to 12 right now.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
yeah, big fan. I don't know. I actually was gonna talk about the episode that you guys will be reviewing this week, but I just couldn't stop my rambling, so this is all you get for now, and a little
Love it.
Yay, zombie sound on the first call. You get a gold star.
Canadian zombie sound on the first call. Amazing.
It's great. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Appreciate that. I always
it's
love
amazing.
it. People find us now after all this time. It's really cool.
I know. That's awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, and I hope you call back in and talk about an episode sometime. That'd be cool.
And I'm so glad you came back to the show.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's so much good stuff after that.
Oh, so much.
All right. Billy Thompson says, hello. Hope you guys are well. Well, kind of. Pretty much.
We're getting there. Getting
Sort of.
by.
What a performance from Scott Wilson this episode, and he delivers one of my favorite lines. I hereby declare we have Spaghetti Tuesdays every Wednesday. Not exactly what I want Herschel to be talking about with a tube down my throat that's allowing me to still be alive, but needs must. What does that mean? Needs must? That's a saying I don't get, but okay.
Yeah, it's like, you've got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. Okay.
Yeah.
We actually had Herschel's spaghetti from the Walking Dead cookbook last week. Oh, I forgot about that. And it was pretty good. You guys should check it out. A few decent recipes in there that have become regulars in our household. I think I might actually have a copy of that because I think we interviewed the author of it at some point.
Oh, no way.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I want to make that spaghetti. Send me the recipe.
He says, I forgot how much carnage goes on during this episode when everyone starts turning, the tense music, Lizzie casually talking to Henry like a pet. It was like a horror circus for a few minutes, I know. Although I know Glenn doesn't die, obviously I was still on the edge of my seat when they're saving him. I was completely engrossed at that moment. It's just what this show does to me. Rick definitely goes through a change this episode, or has a realization, I think, after what he had to do to Carol. As a result of that, we get the epic scene with the Grimes boys mowing down Zeds. Hell yeah! Another great episode, and we catch the governor being a peeping Tom at the end there. So excited for the rest of this season. Thanks, guys. Bye!
Oh, thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Billy.
Andrea Abarca says, hi, Jason and Lucy. Hope you're having a good day. Do you know what, Andrea? I am. I saw a really cute dog today. That's my news for today. It was very cute. Nice. It was a Shiba Inu, and I gave it a stroke, and it was great. Andrea says, I didn't get a chance to write in last week, so a couple of things about indifference. First, Daryl. I'm going to be a fangirl and say I very much enjoyed the whole cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and I would not mind his sweaty redneck self in my face or watching him get in someone's face to defend me. My hero. I like his no bullshit conversation with Bob and finding the stone. It's like a rough soft side, and I remember watching it for the first time. It just added another layer to my never-ending love for Daryl. As for Carol, I think I felt the same way I did the first time. I was confused by her callousness, but I was upset when Rick sent her away. I remembered thinking, are we ever going to see her again, and worried for Daryl. I'm
Hmm.
excited for superhero Carol in Terminus.
Hmm.
So, moving on to internment, a lot of the characters have great moments in this episode, but it truly is Herschel's episode. I loved every moment with him, from Spaghetti Tuesdays and Wednesdays to the end where he sits in the jail cell and opens the Bible, but finally lets himself break down. That scene is so beautiful, so human. His resilience and calm throughout really just touched my heart and still does now, which is why I will not be watching what happens with the governor. I will be saying that I will say the first time I watched it happen, I literally ran up to my TV and screamed, "No!" So I'll be skipping it this time around. Everyone in this episode brought their A game, and even though it was dark and hard to watch at times, it had everything: horror, fear, humanity, and humor. Sasha saying Herschel was stupid, and Herschel saying he'll take it as a compliment. Such a great interaction between these two characters. Truly a great episode. Oh, I love that, Andrea.
Yeah, that kind of touched me. I was thinking, gosh, even if we don't get some kind of a conclusion or reunion story of some kind, which I don't know, I have my doubts that's ever going to happen. I hope we at least get the actors coming together
Yeah.
for a retrospective, like they do sometimes. And unfortunately,
Mhm.
Scott Wilson won't be able to be there, but I'm sure they'll talk about him and show clips and stuff like that. I just want to see all these guys together again. I really miss that.
Imagine if they did a rewatch podcast. You know how some shows are doing that now?
Right.
That would be hilarious. I'd be
Yeah, I
like,
don't know.
no.
No,
Rivals?
that'd be cool. I wonder, like, who would be really good for that?
It'd probably have to be like Melissa McBride or somebody who's been there for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Ross Marquand.
Yeah, that's who first came to my mind. Ross
He'd be good at
Marquand.
that.
And
Yeah.
maybe Cooper Andrews and Carrie Payton would be awesome for those later
Oh, that would be
ones.
hysterical. I would love that. Okay, don't take her idea. If you're listening, don't take her idea, but also do it because it'd be great.
Come on our podcast and do it.
Yeah, we'll do a try it.
All right, here's Steve Brown.
Hello, the cast of us. This is Steve, and this is going to be the...
And if they do that and then people still say Office Ladies is better, then that I'll be not too happy about that.
We'll be like, you can sit with us. You know what it's like.
Yeah, exactly.
Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 5, Internment. What are they trying to do? Put a feeding tube down this guy's throat? Or
Breathing tube.
what, I guess, to get him air? It just seems
Air,
weird,
yeah.
but that look in Rick's eyes at the very beginning, whoa. And Glenn and Sasha do not look good. Ooh, when that guy just started to wake up and Glenn just right through the skull with his knife. And, oh, Herschel's never had to do that before. And, wow, that was a long, cold open. I wasn't lying. Look at you. You're resting. Oh, Glenn, Herschel. Okay, so Rick just told Maggie that Carol was the one that killed Karen and David and that he banished her. Okay. And that was just a hard conversation that Rick had to have with Carl there. I forgot. Yeah, I guess so. They've got all the people who are not sick are all. Oh, I guess that's right. All the children and young people are together away from the sick people, and then all the sick people are quarantined. So and that's where Glenn and Herschel are. And wow, Dr. Caleb is very pragmatic about what needs to be done, admitting that he's in the end stages here. But wow, ooh, so Herschel did that one. Of course, he had to cover up the face, couldn't do it to his, but he got it. And there's Rick, watched him do it. Oh, looks like somebody's waking up as a zombie and their cell door wasn't locked. But Herschel's dealing with Sasha, so what's going to happen? Oh, and now we got more than one. We got Henry's waking up, and the woman who was waking up earlier, she's attacking Herschel. Oh, and she's gross. Oh, we're about to lose a few red shirts, it looks like. The guy that was in the cell just shot the girl, and he got bit by a zombie on his arm. Ooh. I don't know how creepy it is that Lizzie, I know she's leading Henry away from Glenn, but still, it's creepy. Oh, and now Herschel's getting Caleb's guns, the shotguns, and it's going to be some fighting now. Rick and Carl are got a gun stash also that they're getting into. We're going to have some gunfight here. Rick and Carl handling them M4s like they know what they're doing. Good training. Oh, and Herschel's got to get the respirator, the breather from Henry. Oh, looks like Maggie got in, and good shot. Oh, Lizzie playing in the blood with her boot. That's, just more creepiness from this girl. Good acting, though, really. Okay, so Bob and Tyrese, they're back, and they brought the medicine. And so how quickly is this going to cure everybody? Oh, and Daryl returns, and he doesn't know about Carol yet. Ooh, and the last shot we have of the governor right outside the prison. Oh, and that brings us. I remember now where we're going. Oh well, on to next week.
Oh well, sorry.
Oh well.
Just hearing Steve lay it all like that makes me just realize even more. I always say it's a challenge to use zombies well in the series because they're pretty slow and dumb. But man, this was the perfect use of the zombie in an enclosed space where you could have a new zombie at any point because everyone's sick, and it's sad too because they're people you know and you're hoping will pull through, but then you have to be immediately afraid of them right away, like the guy with his son. It's just so good, horrible, horrific, but it's like when you think you're going to see a TV version of a horror concept, this is it. Like, this is how you do it.
Even things like Rick being at the fence and one grabbing his ankle, this episode does a good job of never letting you relax fully into like, oh, it's fine. It's like, no, it's not. Like these things can escalate at the drop of a hat.
Yep. All right. Karen Shee says, this is a near perfect episode of The Walking Dead. Just what I was just saying. It goes at a fast clip. There are multiple threats plaguing our heroes, and the show really utilizes the tight corners and dark hallways of the prison. I find myself tearing up several times at Herschel's attempt to preserve everyone's health and hope. If anything, I wish the show took out that scene between Rick and Herschel when the latter quotes Steinbeck, a sad soul can kill quicker than a germ. We saw this already when he tried to crack jokes about Spaghetti Tuesdays, or when he took dead bodies away to put them down in secret. I was already moved when, at the beginning of the episode, Herschel admitted that he was tired, but still put on a happy face for Maggie. Yeah, sometimes I guess you're right. You don't need to spell it out. We can already feel it. So it almost takes away from the power of it when you just say exactly what you're doing. It reminds me of that's Fear the Walking Dead tactic. It reminds me of the sacrifices my parents make, perhaps suffering silently to spare me any anguish and keep my worries at bay. I really love the gentle scenes between Herschel and Sasha, and Herschel and Glenn too. He's a patriarch to all. Watching this episode now further bums me out that we never concluded the series with Rick and Carl together. This is an iconic episode for the father and son pair, and I noticed that the closing scenes bookend the season premiere's opening scene. That is, the last scene here also tracks Rick's boots coming down the stairs to his garden. Only this time, unlike a verdant field with pig pens and horse stables, the ground is littered with walkers. As with the opening scenes in 401, Carl says verbatim, "You didn't wake me up." Oh, this is so great. But this time the boy didn't lack sleep because he was reading comics. Carl stayed up because he was helping Rick defend the prison. Instead of telling Carl that he should do his chores and go to story time, Rick accepts Carl's help in the garden. The closing shot is especially poignant. Rick and Carl survey the plants that they planted a few days ago. This isn't the same garden from the season premiere. This isn't the same father and son from then either. There's a racking shot that focuses on Rick's gun on his belt. Then a sugar snap pea comes into view. Death and life occupy the same frame. And yes, Dad, quote, Dad, everything is going to be okay. Well, not really, but that's so great. It really sort of highlights how these 5 episodes are a complete story in a way, you know. It's so good, Karen. Thank you.
Do you ever think that Karen's like super smart? It's like I do all the fucking time.
Sometimes, but pretty much all the time, yeah.
I'm like, you know when you're like, I wish I wrote that. Yeah, I'm having that right now. It's very so good, true.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Love it.
All right. Here is Robin.
Robin.
Hey y'all, good morning. It's me. This bleak episode. I had forgotten so much about it, probably just blocked it out, I guess. But the darkness in the prison and the tension is palpable. Even this time around, even though I forgot a lot, having an idea of what was going to happen, the tension has your heart in your throat the whole time. They're especially, even though I knew that it wasn't the end for Herschel, him hobbling around every time he got himself in a fix, I thought, Herschel, why are you throwing yourself onto that netting with that walker? I know you need the trach bag, but oh my God, it makes you think you're going to survive doing that. And trying to keep everyone in their cells. And I kept thinking, I really wish he would just call them rooms and not cells. And then the clang of the doors when he closed them, it just makes your skin crawl.
Oh.
There were so many things that I forgot happened in this episode. First, Lizzie being such a complete freak, letting that Walker, although he did have the trach bag, letting him out and calling him, "Come on, Henry, come on, Henry, come on, Henry." I just was so shocked
Here,
by
boy.
that. I forgot about it. And I was also shocked by the fact that nobody chastised her for that. Herschel does say, I told you to stay put, but I guess they're just too stunned. And then at the end, when she rubs her boot through the blood and gore from when Glenn was choking to death, just so sickening. I had forgotten that.
Well, she saved Glenn, right? Or
Yeah, she did. She took him. She guided him away from Glenn, is my understanding.
Yeah, so I think she might have saved his life there.
The one of the branches they were using to shore up the fence broke, and then Rick giving Carl instructions on how to use the gun as they're running, and Carl totally understanding and being able to do it, and then them just shooting all those walkers, and then the scene of Carl at the end just going around and double checking and using that spear to put into their brains was just oh, poor Carl. I love him so much, and I just feel so bad for him. It's just so many things, really. And then at the end, of course, when Herschel is trying to read his Bible and can't and cries. I'm a little bit of a crier, but I cried so hard for him. He breaks your heart. He's so good and so pure. And I do recommend, if you have not seen the movie In Cold Blood, it's the movie that put Scott Walker on the map way back when with Robert Blake about the murders in Kansas, based on Truman Capote's book. If you haven't seen that movie, you really should. He's mind-blowing in that movie. And I know that's not particularly descriptive of his acting, but he blows your mind in that movie. Anyway, I'm sure we'll talk again soon. Looking forward to hearing what you all have to say about it. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh, by the way, I don't think that Rick had the right to unilaterally decide to banish Carol any more than she had the right to unilaterally decide to kill Karen and David. So there's that. Okay. Bye, y'all. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
I love that you lobbed that in at the end, Robin. You're like, just so you know, I think this.
Oh, well,
I love it. It's great.
Would totally. I mean, some serial killer comes into your house and kills your family, and then you decide to take them, kill them, and someone says you didn't have the right to kill them any more than they had the right to kill your family. Oh, wow.
It's different.
Totally agree with that.
It's different.
No, but he's afraid for his kids. That's what he said. I did this for me, not for anyone else. So that's what I'll say to that.
I stand with Robin.
No, I mean, I did say that was the one thing that I was sort of on the fence about, that he didn't confer with anyone else.
I've read In Cold Blood. It's one of my favorite books. I've not seen it, and I really do want to see it now. So yeah, I'm going to check it out.
Her message also made me think about Glenn and how good he was in this, and Stephen Yeun, and how they haven't used Glenn that much this season. And he probably did more in this episode, if I remember right, than he has in most. And I remember people asking Stephen Yeun a lot about, what was it like to play sick? I can't remember what he said though. But yeah, I just feel like the show needs to use him more. And I think that's one reason why Stephen Yeun didn't mind leaving when he did, because he felt underutilized.
It's definitely why Jesus left as well.
Yeah, Tom Paine.
Yeah. Jesus,
not the real Jesus.
Not the real Jesus. He did not leave because he felt he was being underused.
Maybe.
That would be a rewrite. That would be a massive retcon. So Josie Bowen Echtel says, I had forgotten most of this episode. End of comment. No, I'm joking. She says, I love the scenes of Rick and Carl. Carl has grown up a lot, and in his own ways, Rick is maturing a lot as well. I love seeing them as a father and son duo, and that scene of them taking out the mini horde was beautiful. Lizzie, the one time she does something right, so glad she was able to get that walker away from Glenn, even in her own twisted way, even in her twisted way. I love how Daryl comes back and, of course, is instantly worried about his person. I know he doesn't take this news well. Maggie's reaction was one I didn't quite remember, but I appreciated how
Me
Rick
neither.
asked her what she would do. You could sense he still didn't feel great about what he did, but for the overall safety of his children and other family, knew it was what's best.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching Rick's inner turmoil play out. He can convey so much with just his facial expression. We see him in awe of Carl many times in this episode, as well as clearly struggling with his own necessary actions. Sasha plays sick and dying so well. How can someone so beautiful look so horrid at the same time? Sonequa, you are phenomenal. Also, a little side note, can anyone else see the heat between Rick and Michonne? I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
noticed it too much at the first watch, though, but I love their flirty banter.
Mm-hmm.
Michonne is just really that girl. Flame emoji. This episode was truly one of horror. I was anxious watching, and I believe this is my third watch through of the show at this point. That last frame with the governor watching Rick and Carl just guts me. It is a parallel to the shot of Andrea about to call out to them before getting attacked from behind. Horrible and poetic. Knowing what is to come makes each scene at the prison so much harder to watch. Seeing the huge carts of guns and ammo, for example, make me want to cry out for a future group who are grasping at straws for the basic necessities again. Fucking Governor, that fucking fuck. I'm not looking forward to the Governor-centric episodes that lie ahead, but I am eager to hear y'all's perspectives and everyone else's feedback. Bye!
Bye, Josie.
Bye, Josie. Bye.
Okay, one more call from Renee.
Renee.
Hi guys, this is Renee here. I was happy to see the fact that Rick was still grappling with the fact that he banished his day one. I was happy to see that he was still struggling with that. I love Grandpa Herschel, but I just cannot believe that he didn't think about wearing gloves when he was dealing with all of those sick people.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Herschel read the Bible verse before him and Glenn took out that guy before he turned to a walker. I'm assuming he read a Bible verse because he had the Bible in his hand. Herschel has that grandpa authority that you have no choice but to respect. He's compassionate and loving, but he is also stern. He lets you know when you need to, just reel it back.
Mm-hmm.
I love Rick and Carl's relationship, but
Scott
it's like
Wilson did that
Rick
too.
was mad at everybody. It's like, sir, you are the one that banished Carol. Calm your nerves. Child. Did you guys see that toilet? Father God, please don't ever let an apocalypse happen in real life, because I'm telling you, I'm gonna be dead the very first day. I hate public bathrooms. Like, I despise them.
I think about this a lot.
Child, Rick Grimes look fine, even when he has dirt and blood all over him. But again,
Especially.
where is the gloves? When they was putting the wood on the fence, it's like, why don't y'all have any gloves? This is a prison. I know they have construction gloves, and it will prevent you guys from getting splinters in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Carl, a.k.a. Rick Jr., he was firing off those shots at those ugly-ass zombies, just like his daddy. When I tell y'all, those zombies was showing up ugly in this episode. They were real ugly. Baby, do not play with Maggie Ree. She went through that window like a gangster.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, and this is the part I'm going to get sad about. When Glenn was choking on his own blood, it made me feel real sad, because my little brother, he died from the hantavirus. And what the hantavirus does, it causes your body fills up with fluid. And the doctor said that the more they pump the fluid out of my little brother, the more the fluid build up. My little brother was in the military. He was stationed in Arizona. He came here to Atlanta to be with me for 2 weeks before he got ready to be deployed. And he went to New Mexico. And they were saying that maybe when he was cleaning out his barracks and stuff and, getting his stuff together, that maybe some rodent droppings, because it comes from rodents, from rats and mice and stuff. And maybe he inhaled it, or maybe it came from maybe a soda can or something that he didn't wipe off. They can't pinpoint exactly where it came from, but my little brother was healthy when he left me. And my mother called me on a Saturday, and she said that they called and told her that Poochie was not feeling good the day before, and that he went to the hospital, and that he wasn't doing good. So we was trying to book a flight so that we can go up there. And it's like literally 10 minutes later, my mom called me back and told me that my little brother was gone. I mean, just that quick. It took him out just that quick. My little brother was the sweetest, nicest, most kindest young man ever. He was only 27 years old. But that's been like 10 years ago. You know, of course, that still bothers me. I'm never going to forget him. Never, ever. But, you know, he's resting in the arms of Jesus right now. I know he's in a better place. And, you know, he is, like I said, just sad. So just seeing that kind of brought back all of those memories. And then seeing Herschel cry also broke my heart. And it's like at the end, oh, Lord, oh, my goodness, Philip is back. Oh, why? All righty, I will talk to you guys later. Peace and love. Bye.
I'm sorry to hear about that, Renee. That's awful. And, you know, that's what I was saying kind of at the top, that this sickness is more relatable. So it stood out more to me too. And it almost makes me think, in a way, even though The Walking Dead is filled with such horror, that it's escapism in a way, because it's zombies that aren't real. And this episode is not as much like that. But anyway, I'm so sorry to hear that, Renee.
Yeah, Renee, I'm so sorry that happened. And I'm glad that your brother is at peace now. I think we don't realize often how fragile life is. I know that sounds really weird, but I think like we're one of the things in The Walking Dead that, you know, something that may not bother you. Like I was thinking about Jenny getting bitten by that dog, Jason, like in a world without antibiotics and places that you can go to get your wound treated and get the appropriate things. You can
rabies
die
shots
really
for
easily.
dogs.
Yeah, rabies shots for dogs. It's intense. And I think sometimes when things happen, like someone dies suddenly, you just get this realization of how fragile it all is. It's hard to fathom.
Yeah, we don't usually give out assignments, but our assignment for this week is to go and hug someone that you love.
Yeah, tell someone you love that you love them.
Wide epidemic of people complaining about female podcaster laughs.
You know, girls, they want to have fun, but should they? I love my niece. She's allowed.
So next we'll be covering everyone's favorite The Walking Dead Season 4 Episode 6, Live Bait. And we'll have Nathan Eshelman on, who is a fan of that episode. And I think he's been like rereading some of the Walking Dead Governor novels in preparation. So really looking forward to having him on and talking about it.
I did that last year. I'm really looking forward to chatting with Nathan. He's amazing. Also, I did I reread some of the Governor stuff last year, so I'm excited to talk about that. If